Alex stepped off the transport shuttle and took a deep breath. The air of the planet Zephyra was crisp and clean, unlike the recycled atmosphere of Earth's spaceports. The city shimmered with tall towers of silver and glass reflecting the light of Zephyra's twin suns. Alien species walked alongside humans, each moving with purpose, carrying their unique styles and gadgets. Alex had traveled across many systems, but this planet felt different. It carried both elegance and a sense of power. He adjusted the strap of his satchel and walked toward the grand palace at the center of the city. His mission was simple in words but difficult in action. He was a diplomat, chosen to represent humanity in trade negotiations with the Zephyran Empire. The empire was known for its technological advancement and strict hierarchy. Many humans before him had failed to leave a lasting impression. Alex knew he needed to do more than follow formal rules. He had to connect with the aliens on a personal level. The palace gates opened before him as if they recognized his arrival. Guards with tall shining helmets and elegant uniforms stood at attention, their alien features sharp but calm. Alex bowed respectfully, receiving a nod in return. The palace garden stretched out before him, a breathtaking display of plants that glowed faintly in the sunlight. Trees with silver leaves and flowers that changed color as he approached lined the wide paths. Birds with translucent wings flew overhead, their songs mingling with the soft hum of alien machinery hidden among the foliage. Alex wandered along a winding path, taking in the beauty of the place. He had been warned not to disturb the aliens, as even small mistakes could be seen as disrespectful. He walked slowly, careful not to touch anything when he accidentally collided with someone walking briskly in the opposite direction. "Oh," Alex exclaimed, stepping back. The figure in front of him paused and turned. Alex froze. He had been expecting an official, maybe a guard, but instead he saw her, the alien princess. Her skin was a soft lavender, and her eyes were large and golden, with a glow that seemed to come from inside her. Her hair shimmered like silver threads flowing to her waist. She wore a gown that reflected the light, delicate yet regal. Alex's heart skipped a beat, but he quickly reminded himself to stay professional. "I am sorry," Alex said, bowing slightly. The princess tilted her head, studying him with curiosity. Her gaze was sharp but not unkind. "No harm done," she replied in a voice that was both melodic and commanding. "You are a human, are you not?" "Yes, Princess Lyra," Alex said, trying to keep his voice steady. "I am Alex, here to assist with the trade talks." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Most humans are formal and cautious. You are different," Alex smiled, deciding to take a small risk. "Well, I like to think humans are friendly when they can be." He hesitated for a moment, then added lightly, "Sweetie." Lyra froze. The word was unfamiliar, yet it carried warmth. Her ears, pointed slightly at the tips, twitched in surprise. Then a blush spread across her cheeks, subtle but noticeable. "Darling," she said quietly, a smile forming on her lips. Alex blinked. He had not expected that. The princess, the very symbol of Zephyran poise, had responded in kind. They looked at each other, and for a moment the weight of diplomacy, politics, and protocol seemed to vanish. Both of them smiled, feeling a connection that went beyond words or customs. Lyra laughed softly, a sound like wind chimes. "You are bold human," she said. "I like that." Alex chuckled, feeling a mix of relief and excitement. "And you are fascinating. I have never met anyone like you." They walked together along the path, talking about small, harmless things at first. The alien flowers, the unusual birds, and the way the light fell on the palace walls. Alex noticed that Lyra's smile never faded, and she asked him questions about Earth and humanity. She was curious not just about his mission, but about him. "Do humans always speak so freely?" she asked. "Some do, some don't," Alex said. "We learn to read situations carefully, but I think honesty works better sometimes." Lyra tilted her head, considering this. "Perhaps that is why I enjoy speaking with you. Most humans are too cautious. You are refreshing." As they continued, Alex saw that the palace gardens were more than just beautiful. They were a statement of the empire's history and power. Statues of great leaders, fountains that seemed to float in midair, and pathways that glowed softly beneath their feet. Lyra explained the significance of each element, and Alex listened intently, asking questions that showed genuine interest rather than formality. At one point, Lyra stopped by a fountain that reflected the twin suns in dazzling patterns. She leaned slightly over the water, studying her reflection. Alex looked too and saw the princess's golden eyes glinting with curiosity. "You humans value simplicity," she said after a moment. "Yet you manage to surprise me in ways I cannot predict." Alex smiled, stepping closer. "Perhaps that is why we get along, sweetie." Lyra's blush returned deeper this time. She shook her head, smiling. "You are bold and charming. I will remember that." They walked to a bench overlooking a small lake, the water glowing faintly from bioluminescent algae. The moment was quiet and peaceful, and Alex realized that he had never felt such a strong connection with anyone from another world. The princess's curiosity and openness mirrored his own, and it created a sense of trust and friendship unusual for humans and aliens. Lyra looked at him, eyes soft. "I am intrigued by humans. You are different from the stories I have heard. Most aliens think of you as fragile or limited, but you show cleverness and warmth. I appreciate that." Alex nodded. "Thank you, Princess. That means a lot, especially coming from you." They shared another smile. This time it was not just polite or amused. It was the smile of two beings who had found something rare, a moment of understanding across worlds. The sound of distant bells reminded them of the approaching evening. Alex knew he should return to the palace and prepare for the official meetings, but he was reluctant to leave the princess's company. Lyra seemed to sense his hesitation. "You may return later," she said gently. "I will be in the gardens. We can speak again before the formalities begin." Alex bowed. "I will do that, darling." Lyra laughed, the sound gentle and genuine. "Do not overuse that, human," but I admit it made me smile. As Alex walked away, he felt a warmth in his chest he had not expected. Meeting the princess had been more than a diplomatic duty. It had been the start of something extraordinary. He thought about her golden eyes, her curiosity, and the way she had responded to a simple word with honesty and grace. Back at the transport area, Alex reflected on the day. He knew the palace, the negotiations, and the empire itself were complex and potentially dangerous. But he also knew that in the midst of formal duties, he had found a connection that might change everything, not just for him, but for humanity's relationship with the Zifferan Empire. As the sun set over the palace towers, Alex felt a sense of hope. The world around him was vast, filled with wonders and dangers, but perhaps humans had a unique ability to bridge the gap between species. Perhaps it was empathy, courage, or the simple act of speaking honestly. Whatever it was, he knew that the princess and her world would be a part of his journey forever. And somewhere in the palace gardens, Lyra watched the fading sunlight, thinking of the human who had dared to call her sweetie. She smiled to herself and whispered, "Darling," knowing that this human was different, and perhaps the first friend she had truly found among the stars. The next morning, the palace was alive with quiet energy. Servants moved gracefully along the marble halls, carrying trays of glowing fruits and crystalline containers filled with strange liquids. The Zifferan guards patrolled silently, their golden eyes alert, but their movements held an elegance that suggested centuries of training. Alex felt both awe and slight nervousness. Today, he would accompany Princess Lyra on a tour of the palace and her world. He found her in the central hall, standing near a large window that overlooked the city. The sunlight made her lavender skin glow softly. She wore a tunic of shimmering blue fabric that flowed as she moved. Lyra noticed Alex and smiled, her golden eyes warm. "Good morning, sweetie," Alex said, remembering their light-hearted exchange from the day before. Lyra tilted her head, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. "Good morning, darling," she replied, a smile dancing on her lips. Her voice carried curiosity, as if she was measuring how this human would approach the world of the Zifferans. Alex bowed slightly, keeping his composure. "Shall we begin?" Lyra gestured toward a wide corridor lined with exhibits. "I will show you some of our history and technology. Perhaps you humans can find something interesting." The corridor was filled with displays, some holographic, others physical. Weapons, tools, and devices of every shape and size were mounted with precision. Alex walked slowly, taking in every detail. "This is impressive," he said. "Your technology is far beyond anything humans have built." Lyra smiled, her eyes glinting with pride. "Yes, our civilization has developed over thousands of years. But you humans, you have cleverness. I hear it in stories, but I see it in you now." Alex smiled. Thank you, Princess. We have our strengths, even if we are not as advanced as you. They reached a display of a levitating vehicle. Alex crouched to examine its propulsion system. I think I understand the principles, he said, pointing to the small energy modules. You use magnetic levitation combined with controlled energy fields. That is efficient? Lyra leaned closer, intrigued. Most humans would not notice the details so quickly. You are observant, Alex shrugged. We adapt. That is how humans survive in difficult environments. Lyra nodded thoughtfully. I like that. Adaptability is valuable even in our empire. As they walked, Lyra began showing Alex small traditions of her people. She led him to a room filled with glowing crystals. These are not just decorations, she explained. They record memories and events of importance. We can see the past through their light. Alex's eyes widened. So your history is alive? You can observe it directly? Yes, Lyra said. It is not like your books. The crystals show emotions, sounds, and images. It is a living memory. Alex reached out to touch one and light swirled across the room, showing scenes from Zephyra's past. He saw great battles, celebrations, and the lives of ordinary Zypherans. The emotions were vivid. He could feel pride, fear, joy, and sadness. This is remarkable, he said. Humans have memory archives, but nothing like this. Lyra smiled, pleased that he appreciated it. Humans have a certain resilience. You see connections others might miss. That is why I enjoy speaking with you. As they continued the tour, Alex shared small stories from Earth. He spoke of the forests, the oceans, and the mountains. He told tales of human creativity, from building enormous cities to crafting music and art. Lyra listened intently, fascinated by his perspective. You humans find beauty in simplicity, she said. Even in objects or events that we consider ordinary, you see meaning. Alex nodded. It is what makes us human. We try to notice, to understand, to connect. That is our way of surviving and thriving. Lyra paused near a window overlooking a training yard. Zephyran soldiers moved with precision, performing drills with glowing weapons. We are strong, disciplined, and intelligent, she said. But humans, you have a quality we admire. Your ability to form bonds quickly, to understand and respond. That is rare among the stars. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. He had never heard an alien speak so honestly about humans. He decided to respond playfully. Well, we also have charm, and sometimes it works wonders. Lyra raised an eyebrow, her lips twitching into a smile. Charm, sweetie? Yes, charm, Alex said, bowing slightly. And courage, curiosity, and a sense of humor. Lyra laughed, a sound like the soft ringing of bells. You are bold, human. I must admit I enjoy it. You make the palace less formal. They reached a small garden room filled with glowing plants and flowers that changed color when touched. Alex knelt beside one and gently pressed a leaf. It shifted from blue to violet. Lyra did the same, and the colors danced between them. Your people would love this, Alex said. We are always fascinated by nature, even if it is artificial or alien. Lyra watched him closely. Humans are curious. That is clear. You explore, you ask questions, you try to understand. That is admirable. Alex looked up at her and smiled. And you are extraordinary, Princess. Not just in appearance or skill, but in your willingness to share your world. It means a lot. Lyra's golden eyes softened. I find humans refreshing. Most are cautious, formal, or afraid. You are neither. They sat on a stone bench watching the bioluminescent plants pulse gently in the soft light. There was a quiet peace between them, a shared understanding that went beyond words. Alex broke the silence. You know, when I first called you sweetie yesterday, I did not expect... He paused, smiling. I did not expect you to call me darling in return. Lyra laughed softly, shaking her head. It was unusual, yes, but it felt natural. It made me smile, and I do not smile lightly with humans. Alex grinned. Then I am honored. Lyra's expression softened. You humans have a way of surprising me, sweetie. Even with small words, you convey warmth, trust, and humor. Those qualities are valuable, even in an empire that values strength and discipline. Alex nodded. I think that is part of what makes humans special. We try to connect, to understand, and to respect others. It is not always easy, but it is important. Lyra leaned back, looking at the glowing plants. Perhaps that is why I enjoy your company. You do not see me as a princess or as someone to be impressed. You see me as a person, and that is rare among the people I meet. Alex felt a sense of pride, but also humility. I think that is the first step in understanding anyone, human or alien, seeing them as who they truly are, not just their role or title. They continued their tour, moving through halls of art and technology, exchanging ideas and questions. Alex noticed how Lyra's eyes lit up with curiosity, how her laughter filled the corridors, and how she seemed genuinely interested in his thoughts and opinions. By the time they returned to the central hall, Alex realized that this day had changed something. It was more than a cultural exchange. It was a connection, a bridge between humans and Xiferans, and it was a reminder that humans, though less advanced in technology, had qualities that could inspire, influence, and create trust across worlds. Lyra turned to him, her golden eyes warm. "Thank you, sweetie, for spending this time with me." "It has been enlightening," Alex smiled. "No, thank you, darling. It has been an honor to see your world and to share a bit of mine." They shared another smile, one that spoke of friendship, trust, and the beginnings of something extraordinary. Outside, the palace glowed in the light of Zephyra's twin suns, a symbol of strength, beauty, and the possibilities that could arise when two species chose to understand and respect each other. As Alex left the hall to prepare for the evening meeting, he carried with him a sense of hope. Perhaps humans had a unique gift among the stars. Not just intelligence or courage, but the ability to connect, to build trust, and to create bonds that could change the course of history. And somewhere in the palace, Princess Lyra watched him go, thinking of the human who had dared to call her sweetie. She smiled softly and whispered, "Darling," knowing that this connection, small as it seemed, might be the start of something remarkable. The sun rose over Zephyra, casting golden light across the palace towers. Alex was walking through the grand corridors, preparing notes for the evening negotiations. The palace hummed with quiet energy, servants moving gracefully and guards patrolling with silent precision. He felt confident, yet a sense of anticipation lingered in the air. Today was to be important, not just for diplomacy, but for the growing connection he shared with Princess Lyra. Lyra appeared at the end of the hallway, her flowing silver hair catching the morning light. She smiled at Alex. "Good morning, sweetie," she said playfully, her golden eyes warm. "Good morning, darling," Alex replied with a grin. He had grown used to their private exchange, which now carried a sense of friendship and trust. Lyra motioned for him to follow her. "I will show you some of our defensive systems. It is important for you to understand how we protect our empire." They walked together through hidden corridors, lined with advanced technology. Panels glowed softly, displaying maps, energy readings, and the movement of the city. Alex was fascinated. "Your defenses are impressive," he said. "You have sensors, energy barriers, and rapid response teams. The design is very efficient." Lyra's expression softened. "We must be prepared. Our empire is respected, but there are rivals who would challenge us." Alex nodded. "I understand. And I hope humans and Xiferans can work together if trouble arises." Before Lyra could respond, alarms blared through the palace. Red lights flashed along the walls. The quiet corridors were filled with a tense energy. Guards rushed past, their weapons glowing. Alex instinctively ducked beside a control panel. "What is happening?" he asked, trying to remain calm. Lyra's eyes narrowed. "An attack. A rival faction has breached our outer defenses. They want to disrupt the treaty discussions and undermine the empire." Alex's mind raced. "I can help," he said, stepping forward. "We need to secure the main hall and alert your loyal forces." Lyra nodded. "Yes, human. Follow me." They sprinted down the corridors, moving past servants who were being guided to safe areas. The palace gardens, which had seemed peaceful just yesterday, now echoed with the sounds of energy blasts and shouts. Alex took in the layout quickly, noticing entrances, weak points, and the positions of the guards. "This way," Lyra said, leading him toward a central control room. "We can coordinate defenses from here." Inside, holographic screens displayed the palace and surrounding areas. Alex studied the layout, pointing out ways to slow the intruders. "If we redirect energy to these barriers, it will funnel them toward the central courtyard. Your guards can intercept them there." Lyra looked impressed. "You think quickly, human." "That is why I value your presence," Alex smiled briefly. "It helps that I am used to thinking on my feet. Humans adapt when needed. With their combined efforts, they activated energy barriers, sealed entrances, and directed the palace guards strategically. The intruders approached, moving swiftly but unaware of the traps. Alex noted their movements and shouted instructions to the Zifferin defenders. "Left flank, block the entrance," he called. "Energy barrier ready in 5 seconds." Lyra followed his lead, guiding guards with precision. "Keep moving. Protect the central hall." The first wave of intruders reached the courtyard. Glowing weapons clashed with the Zifferin defenders' energy shields. Alex saw a gap forming in the line and ran forward, using a portable device to redirect an energy shield and block the intruders. "Sweetie, behind you," Lyra shouted, pointing at a group of intruders attempting to flank her. Alex turned, moving quickly to intercept. He used his human ingenuity to jam their energy weapons temporarily, giving Lyra and the guards an advantage. Together, they pushed the intruders back, forcing them toward a secure holding area. Lyra's golden eyes met his for a brief moment. "You are remarkable, human," she said, admiration clear in her voice. Alex grinned. "We humans do what we must to survive and help our friends." The battle raged for some time, but with Alex's guidance, the Zifferin defenders gained the upper hand. Intruders who had expected chaos and confusion were met with carefully coordinated resistance. Alex suggested tactical maneuvers, using his human intuition to predict their movements. Finally, the remaining attackers were subdued. The palace was safe, though signs of struggle remained. Guards patrolled the corridors, checking for breaches, while Alex and Lyra stood together in the central hall. "You saved lives today," Lyra said, her voice softening. "Not just mine, but everyone in this palace. Your courage and quick thinking, it is extraordinary." Alex felt a flush of pride. "It was teamwork. You led brilliantly as well. Without your guidance, none of this would have worked." Lyra smiled, a faint blush on her cheeks. "Humans have a certain spark. You think quickly, act decisively, and yet you care. That combination is rare." Alex stepped closer. "And you, Princess, showed strength, intelligence, and bravery. I am honored to stand with you." Their eyes met, and in that moment there was an unspoken understanding. Their bond, which had begun with playful words and mutual curiosity, had deepened through trust and shared danger. Lyra touched a small device on her wrist, sending a message to the Palace Council. "The situation is under control. The threat is neutralized. Our guests and allies are safe," Alex nodded. "Good. That means we can return to preparations for the treaty. And perhaps a quieter moment for us." Lyra laughed softly, shaking her head. "You humans have a strange way of staying calm under pressure, sweetie." "I find it admirable," Alex grinned. "Adaptability, Princess. We humans learn quickly when it matters most." The palace staff began repairing damage and restoring order. Servants moved with efficiency, and guards returned to their posts. Alex and Lyra walked through the halls, observing the efforts and offering guidance where needed. Despite the earlier chaos, there was a sense of pride and resilience among the Zifferins. "I have seen many humans," Lyra said quietly. "Most are cautious, hesitant. You inspire confidence, sweetie. Even in the face of danger, you find solutions and lead with clarity." Alex smiled. "I think it is part of being human. We face challenges every day, and we learn to overcome them. It is what allows us to survive and grow." Lyra's expression softened. "Perhaps that is why I feel a connection with you. You are different from others I have met. You are not just clever or brave. You understand, care, and act with thoughtfulness." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. "And you, darling, have shown me that even in a world so different from mine, trust and friendship can exist. That is what makes today meaningful." They reached the central garden again, now slightly damaged from the skirmish, but still beautiful. Flowers glowed faintly, some petals bent but resilient. Alex knelt to adjust a plant, watching the way it responded to touch. Lyra observed him closely. "You care for small things even in the middle of chaos. That is rare among your kind and ours." Alex looked up. "Small actions matter. Sometimes they make the biggest difference." Lyra smiled, golden eyes warm. "I see that in you, sweetie. And I am grateful." Alex stood, brushing off his hands. "It was nothing, Princess. Just doing what humans do best. Adapt and help when it is needed." Lyra laughed softly, her blush returning. "You humans have a way of making even serious situations feel lighter. I am beginning to enjoy your presence more than I expected." Alex returned her smile. "I enjoy being here, darling. Your world, your people, and you. It is an experience I will never forget." As the sun set over Zephyra, the palace glowed with renewed strength. The intruders were captured, defenses reinforced, and the bond between human and princess had grown stronger. Alex realized that humans had a unique gift, not just intelligence or courage, but the ability to connect, to inspire trust, and to act decisively in times of need. Lyra looked at him one last time before heading to her chambers. Tomorrow we continue preparations for the treaty. But today, you have proven yourself, and I am proud, sweetie. Alex watched her go, feeling a mix of pride, admiration, and anticipation. Today had been dangerous, but it had also been extraordinary. He had seen his abilities make a real difference in an alien world. And he had strengthened a bond that could change the course of history. And somewhere in the quiet palace gardens, Lyra whispered softly to herself, "Darling," remembering the human who had acted with bravery, intelligence, and heart. The palace halls were calm the morning after the attack, but the air still carried the weight of yesterday's events. Alex walked beside Princess Lyra, both of them moving with quiet purpose. The human diplomat's mind was alert, thinking of the treaty talks that would begin later that day. The palace staff had worked tirelessly through the night, restoring order and reinforcing defenses. The intruders were contained, and the Empire's leaders had gathered in the council hall to discuss the terms of the treaty with neighboring systems. Lyra's golden eyes held a spark of pride as she observed. "Alex, sweetie," she said softly, "I must thank you again. Your efforts yesterday were remarkable. Not just your courage, but your guidance and quick thinking. You helped more than you realize." Alex smiled humbly. "It was teamwork, Princess, and you led with strength. Without your direction, the palace might have suffered more." Lyra nodded, her expression serious but warm. "It is unusual for me to meet someone like you, human. Most visitors are cautious, hesitant, or self-serving. You are different. I trust you." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. "Thank you, darling. I trust you as well. That is why we can work together." They entered the council hall, a vast chamber filled with Zephyran leaders. The walls were decorated with holographic displays of the Empire's achievements and maps of surrounding planets. Aliens of every shape and size filled the seats, their expressions cautious but curious. Humans were rare here, and Alex's presence drew quiet attention. The council meeting began with Lyra presenting the details of the proposed treaty. Alex listened carefully, observing the reactions of each council member. Many of them were skeptical of humans, seeing them as unpredictable or fragile. Yet Alex remained composed, prepared to demonstrate why humanity deserved respect. When it was his turn to speak, he stood confidently. "Esteemed council members," he began, "humanity values cooperation, fairness, and understanding. We may not have the technology of Zephyra, but we have qualities that matter in any alliance: intelligence, creativity, and the ability to adapt to challenges. Yesterday's event showed that humans can act decisively, solve problems, and work with others to protect what is important." Murmurs spread through the hall. Some council members leaned forward, intrigued by his words. Lyra's eyes shone with approval, and she gave a small nod of encouragement. Alex continued, "We respect Zephyra's strength and history. We offer not only trade and resources, but also friendship. A human alliance means trust, support, and innovation. Together we can achieve more than either of our civilizations could alone." A senior council member, a tall Zephyran with silver markings on his face, rose to speak. "You humans speak boldly. Your words are clever, but can you back them with action?" Alex nodded. "Yes. Yesterday I helped coordinate defenses during the attack. I acted alongside Zephyran guards and Princess Lyra. Our success was proof that humans can adapt, lead, and work with other species in times of crisis. We do not just speak, we act." The council was silent for a moment, impressed by his calm confidence. Lyra's smile was subtle but proud. She had not expected a human to handle such scrutiny with such clarity and poise. Another council member leaned forward. "And you, Princess Lyra, have chosen to work closely with this human. Does that reflect your judgment of his abilities?" Lyra's gaze met Alex's, her golden eyes warm. "Yes. He has shown intelligence, courage, and respect for our people. His actions have saved lives and strengthened our position. I trust him." The council members murmured again, their skepticism softening. Humans were often underestimated, but Alex's words and Lyra's support demonstrated a unique truth. Humans had qualities that were rare even among advanced civilizations. As discussions continued, Alex and Lyra worked together seamlessly. He suggested strategies for trade agreements, showing how human innovation could complement Zephyran technology. She presented cultural insights, helping the council see the human perspective. Their collaboration impressed everyone present, and slowly, the atmosphere shifted from caution to curiosity and respect. After the formal meeting, Alex and Lyra took a moment to walk through the palace gardens. The morning sunlight reflected off the silver leaves, and the soft glow of flowers created a serene atmosphere. "You handled yourself well in the council," Lyra said, smiling. "Most humans would have been overwhelmed, but you were confident and thoughtful." Alex laughed lightly. "I have had experience dealing with difficult situations, but more importantly, I trusted you. Knowing I could rely on your guidance made all the difference." Lyra's expression softened. "That trust is mutual, sweetie. I appreciate your honesty, intelligence, and calm under pressure. It is not often that a human impresses me in this way." Alex smiled, feeling the bond between them deepen. "I am glad, darling. Humans value trust, and I think it is the key to understanding any culture." They walked in silence for a few moments, enjoying the peace. Alex noticed how Lyra seemed genuinely curious about his thoughts and feelings, not just his abilities. She asked questions about Earth, humanity, and his personal experiences. Each answer revealed more about the human capacity for empathy, creativity, and resilience. "You humans have a way of finding meaning in even the smallest things," Lyra said softly. "Yesterday you saved lives. Today you offer insight and understanding. Your presence makes a difference." Alex felt a warmth of pride. "That is what humans do, Princess. We learn, adapt, and connect. That is how we survive and thrive." Lyra glanced at him, her golden eyes bright. "It is rare to meet someone who embodies those qualities so fully. You make me see humans in a new light. Perhaps we have underestimated your species for too long." Alex smiled. "It seems we have both learned from each other. You have shown me the depth of your culture, your intelligence, and your people's strength. I hope humans can continue to earn the respect of the Zephyran Empire." Lyra's lips curved into a small smile. "I believe they will, sweetie. With allies like you, we can build understanding, trust, and lasting partnerships." As they continued their walk, Alex noticed the palace staff quietly observing them. There was a sense of admiration in their eyes. Humans were still rare visitors, but Alex's actions and Lyra's support had left an impression. He realized that humans could achieve more than they often believed, not through technology alone, but through intelligence, empathy, and the ability to connect with others. They returned to the council hall later, where discussions continued with renewed energy. Alex offered suggestions that combined human ingenuity with Zephyran tradition. Lyra supported him, emphasizing how collaboration could benefit both civilizations. By the end of the day, the council had agreed to a preliminary trade and cultural agreement, recognizing the value of human participation and insight. As the meeting concluded, Lyra turned to Alex privately. "Sweetie, you have done more than I could have imagined. You have helped secure not only the treaty, but also the trust of our people. I am proud to stand with you." Alex smiled warmly. "Thank you, darling. Your guidance, insight, and trust made it possible. We make a good team." Lyra laughed softly. "Yes, we do. Perhaps this is the beginning of something extraordinary for both our peoples." Alex nodded. "I believe it is. Humans may not be the most advanced, but we have qualities that matter: curiosity, adaptability, courage, and empathy. And those qualities can change the course of events even among the stars." Lyra looked at him thoughtfully. "Indeed, perhaps that is why I enjoy your company so much. You see beyond titles, rank, and expectations. You see the person, the potential, and the connection. That is rare in any world." Alex felt a sense of pride, not for himself, but for humanity. Their species, often underestimated, dismissed, or overlooked, could achieve respect through qualities that were not measurable by technology or power. He realized that humans had a unique gift, one that could influence civilizations and create bridges across worlds. As the sun set over Zephyra, painting the sky in hues of gold and violet, Alex and Lyra stood in the palace gardens once more. They shared a quiet moment of reflection, their smiles speaking volumes about trust, friendship, and the potential for collaboration. "Darling," Lyra said softly, a hint of warmth in her voice. "Humans have a special place in this galaxy. I am beginning to understand why. Alex returned her smile. And I am beginning to understand your world, Princess. Together we can achieve more than either of our civilizations could alone. With that, they walked back toward the palace, ready to face whatever challenges and opportunities awaited them. The bond between human and princess had strengthened, and with it, the possibility of a future where trust, understanding, and respect bridged the gap between species. The morning light spilled across the palace gardens, reflecting off the silver leaves and the gentle glow of bioluminescent flowers. Alex walked beside Princess Lyra, their steps quiet on the smooth stone paths. The city beyond the palace shimmered under Zephyra's twin suns, and a sense of peace had returned after the recent attack and successful negotiations. Today marked the beginning of a new chapter for both the Zephyran Empire and humanity. Lyra turned to Alex, her golden eyes warm. "Sweetie, the Council has approved the treaty. Trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and shared scientific projects will begin immediately. Your contribution has been remarkable." Alex smiled, feeling both pride and humility. "I only did what humans do best, Princess. We adapt, we connect, and we work together. But I could not have done it without your guidance." Lyra laughed softly, a musical sound that blended with the gentle hum of the palace gardens. "You have a way of making even formal accomplishments feel personal. That is part of what makes you unique among humans." Alex grinned. "Perhaps it is why we got along so well from the start. And I must admit, your world has taught me more than I expected. Your culture, your people, and you, everything here is extraordinary." Lyra's blush returned as she looked down briefly before meeting his gaze. "Darling, it is rare to find someone who appreciates more than the surface of our civilization. Most visitors only see our power or our technology. You see the people in their hearts. That is rare indeed." They continued their walk, talking about plans for the future. Alex shared ideas for collaborative projects, human engineers assisting with energy systems, cultural exchanges between human artists and Zephyran creators, and joint exploration missions to nearby planets. Lyra listened with interest, asking questions and adding her own suggestions. "The human's perspective is refreshing," she said. "Your creativity and problem-solving could complement our technology in ways we have not considered." Alex nodded. "And your insights into culture, strategy, and diplomacy have taught me a great deal. I think together we can achieve more than either species alone." As they reached a small courtyard, a fountain at its center reflected the twin suns in dazzling patterns. Children, both human and Zephyran, played nearby under the watchful eyes of palace staff. Alex watched them, smiling at the simple joy shared between species. It reminded him of why he had traveled across the stars. To build connections, to create understanding, and to leave a positive mark. Lyra followed his gaze. "It is heartening to see the next generation learning from each other. Perhaps one day humans and Zephyrans will not see differences, only opportunities to cooperate," Alex agreed. "That is the hope, Princess. And it starts with trust, friendship, and mutual respect, just as we have begun." The day moved forward with ceremonial events to celebrate the treaty. Leaders from neighboring systems attended, curious to see the human who had earned the trust of the Zephyran Empire. Alex spoke with representatives, explaining humanity's values, ingenuity, and willingness to collaborate. His words were met with respect and interest, and he could see the same spark of curiosity in the eyes of aliens that he had noticed in Lyra. During a quieter moment, Lyra led Alex to a balcony overlooking the city. The twin suns cast a warm glow, painting the towers and streets in shades of gold and violet. "You have done more than I could have imagined, sweetie," Lyra said softly. "You have not only helped with the treaty, but you have also shown my people what humans are capable of. Courage, intelligence, empathy, and trust. Those qualities matter more than technology alone." Alex looked out at the horizon. "I hope humans can live up to that trust, Princess. We have always adapted to challenges, and we have always valued connection. That is our strength, and it is why we thrive even in the unknown." Lyra turned to him, her golden eyes shining. "Darling, I believe you have shown me something extraordinary. Not just the human spirit, but the potential for friendship between our worlds. You have made an impact that will last long after the treaty is signed." Alex felt a warmth that went beyond pride. That is all any human can hope to do, to make a difference, to build understanding, and to leave the world a little better than they found it. And meeting you, Princess, has shown me that it is possible across the stars." They shared a quiet smile, the kind that spoke of mutual respect, friendship, and the beginnings of something more profound. The palace around them was alive with celebrations, yet in that moment, the human and princess were focused only on each other, understanding that their bond symbolized hope for a shared future. Later, during the formal banquet, Alex sat beside Lyra, surrounded by leaders from various systems. The atmosphere was vibrant, filled with conversation, laughter, and the clinking of ceremonial glasses. Lyra introduced him to important figures, emphasizing his contributions and humanity's qualities. "You see," she whispered as they spoke, "humans have abilities beyond what many expect. You are clever, brave, and thoughtful. You inspire confidence in your people and mine." Alex smiled warmly. "Thank you, darling. I think that is the essence of humanity. Curiosity, adaptability, and the desire to understand others. That is what allows us to thrive and connect." As the evening progressed, speeches were made and agreements were signed. The human presence had not only strengthened the treaty, but also impressed the Zephyran leaders. Alex's calm reasoning, quick thinking, and thoughtful words had left a lasting impression. After the banquet, Lyra led Alex to a quiet terrace overlooking the palace gardens. The twin moons of Zephira were rising, casting silver light over the trees and flowers. The city below was peaceful, alive with soft lights and the distant hum of machinery. "Sweetie," Lyra said softly, "today has been extraordinary, not because of the treaty alone, but because of what it represents. Humans and Zephyrans working together, understanding each other and creating something new. You have been a part of that." Alex looked at her, feeling a deep sense of connection. "It has been an honor, Princess, and I hope this is only the beginning. Our peoples can achieve so much together." Lyra's lips curved into a gentle smile. "I believe so, darling, and I am grateful to have met you. You are not just a diplomat or a visitor. You are a friend, someone who has shown that humans have qualities worthy of respect and admiration." Alex felt a warmth in his heart. "And you have shown me that trust, curiosity, and openness can create bonds even between very different species." "That is a rare gift, Princess." They stood together quietly, watching the moons rise. The palace gardens glowed faintly, flowers shifting colors with the light, reflecting the harmony of the moment. The air was filled with calm and promise, a reminder that understanding and connection were possible even in a vast and complex universe. Lyra turned to Alex, her golden eyes shining. "Sweetie, I think this is more than a treaty." "It is a beginning. For our people and for us," Alex smiled. "I agree, darling, and I'm honored to walk this path with you." The moments that followed were quiet, peaceful, and full of unspoken understanding. Humans and Zephyrans had faced challenges, celebrated successes, and discovered a bond that could shape the future. Alex realized that humanity's true strength lay not only in intelligence or courage, but in empathy, adaptability, and the ability to create trust across cultures and species. As the twin moons climbed higher in the sky, Alex and Lyra stood side by side, sharing a smile that spoke of hope, friendship, and the endless possibilities of cooperation. The palace around them glowed softly, a symbol of unity and the future they had helped create. In that moment, Alex felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Humanity had proven itself in a world far beyond Earth, not through force or technology alone, but through qualities that were uniquely human. Courage, ingenuity, empathy, and the ability to connect. These were traits that could inspire trust, create alliances, and shape the galaxy. Lyra's voice broke the quiet. "Darling, the future looks bright. With humans and Zephyrans working together, there is no challenge we cannot meet, no obstacle we cannot overcome." Alex nodded, feeling the truth in her words. "Yes, Princess. Together we can create a future full of understanding, respect, and possibility. And it all begins with trust, friendship, and a willingness to see beyond differences." They stood in silence for a while, enjoying the peaceful night and the quiet beauty of the palace gardens. Their bond had grown stronger with every challenge, every conversation, and every shared moment. It was a bond that symbolized hope for a better future, a future where humans and aliens could not only coexist but thrive together. Finally, Alex turned to Lyra, his smile gentle. "Thank you, sweetie, for trusting me, for guiding me, and for showing me what is possible when two very different worlds choose to understand each other." Lyra returned the smile, her golden eyes soft and warm. Thank you, darling, for proving that humans have qualities worthy of admiration. Together we have begun something extraordinary, and I believe this is only the start. As the night deepened, the palace remained quiet, glowing softly under the light of Zephyra's moons. Alex knew that this day would be remembered not just for the treaty, but for the connections it had created, the understanding it had fostered, and the human qualities that had inspired trust and friendship across the stars.